Today I'm going to show you how to manually install WordPress using cPanel. The first thing I usually do before I get started is make a list like this that we're going to need to complete the installation, and that's the database details with the database name, database username, database password. We're eventually going to download the latest version of WordPress from wordpress.org/download. And we're going to want our WordPress username and password to log in once we finish the installation. And we're going to fill these out as we go, but make a list like this because we're going to need them later. And the first thing you want to do if you're not logged into cPanel already is do so. And find and click on MySQL databases, which looks something like this. Now that's going to open up a screen like this, and we're going to want to create a name for our database, and I'm just going to use WPress. Then you click Create Database, and there's this Added Database. We're going to copy that. Don't copy the period or dot at the end. I'm going to copy this database name to right there. We're going to need it later. You click Go Back. You scroll down until you find the MySQL Users Add New Users section. And we're going to do username, WPress again. The password, you want to use something a little complex. This isn't the same as what you'd log into WordPress. This is the database password, so you're not going to need to remember this, but choose something difficult anyway. We're going to want to enter it twice. I'm just going to pick one here, and you can see it in a second on the next screen. It says very strong. Then you click Create User, and here's the database username. You want to copy this part to that text document again. That's the database username. And here's the database password I just created. You can see I got a dot, hyphen, some opening and closing brackets in there. Use whatever you want. I'm going to copy that to my database password, and then I'm going to go back, and you scroll down towards the bottom until you find Add User to Database. I'm going to select the user I just created and the database I just created. If you have others, you want to make sure you select the right ones in these boxes. Then you click Submit. And on this screen, you want to check all privileges, which automatically checks them all for you. You click Make Changes, and you can see the user was added to the database. Now if you go back, and you'll find that right here in the current database sections, you can see I have a database and a database user. That's all you need to do to create the database part of WordPress. And now we want to go over to wordpress.org and get the latest current version of WordPress, and you just go to wordpress.org/download. I'm just going to copy that and put it in a new tab. And here on the right side of the screen, you just choose Download WordPress. It's a zip file. Save it to your computer. I think you know how to do that. I'm going to skip this part since I already have it downloaded. Save a few minutes, but download that to your computer. Once you have that downloaded, you're going to go back to cPanel and choose File Manager. Not the legacy file manager, but just the plain file manager. That's going to open up a screen like this. You want to choose Web Root Public HTML www, and be sure to check Show Hidden Files .files. That's kind of important. Make sure you choose that. Go. And I already have that open right here, and it should say Public HTML on the side here. If not, you just choose public HTML right there and it'll load it up. So now that we're in our public HTML directory, we want to upload. You'll find a screen like this. Choose Browse. Find that WordPress zip file you just downloaded. Click it, open, and it's going to start uploading the WordPress zip file. You can see the progress right here on the side. I'm going to pause that just for a second until that completes. Okay, once it's finished uploading, it'll say complete. And then you can click this link right here in the center of the screen usually to go back to the file manager. And then you'll find the WordPress zip. So you click that. We want to extract the files. And you just want to make sure it says public HTML here, which it should. Please extract files. You should see a screen like this with the results. It's just saying they've extracted the files. You can close that. And you'll find a WordPress folder with the extracted files in your space. Now, so you want to double click to go into there. That's all the WordPress files and folders. We want to move them out to public HTML, so we choose select all. We click and hold our mouse, drag them files and folders over to public HTML and let go. They'll start moving out there. There they go. Choose public HTML on the side here again. And you can see all our WordPress files and folders are out here. So we no longer need the WordPress folder because that's just an empty file or folder. So you just click and then choose delete. Yes, we want to delete it. You can also delete the zip file now because we're done with that. So select the zip file and delete that. Yes, you want to delete that. So all our WordPress files and folders are now in the public HTML folder, which is the main part of your site, www.yoursite.com. So that takes care of the database and the uploading of the WordPress files part. Now you can just go to your site, www.yoursite.com, and the installer should start right up. So I'm going to go www. And there you can see this is the first step of the WordPress installer. I click create a configuration file to continue. And this screen is just saying that you need the database details that we copied earlier, which is right here. You just click let's go. Now the database name you get from the file, which is right there. The database name, you paste that into there. The database username, copy that, paste it into there. You need to get the database password, that big long complicated password we created earlier. Paste that right there. Generally this will be fine. Localhost is the standard default with cPanel. And the table prefix WP underscore is WordPress default. You can change that, but I won't do that unless you really know what you're doing and what it does. So I just leave those two the same and then click submit. Alright, Sparky. Now you just need to click run the install. And on this screen you can give yourself a site title. You can change this later in the WordPress dashboard if you want. So we're just going to do my WordPress site. Now you can use admin as a login to WordPress, but that's like one of the most guest login usernames, which opens up a little bit of security issues. If you use admin, make sure you use a very complicated password so people don't try to guess it. I'm going to choose to change it to John instead, and I'm going to do word dash press word dash press for password, which I really would wouldn't use. I'd use something more complicated, but I'm going to keep it like that so I can remember to show how to show you this part. I'm going to copy your username, John, and password word dash press. That's what you're going to use to log into WordPress, so don't forget them. Your email, go viewyoursite.com. Make sure you use a real email, and whether you want to allow search engines to index your site or not, which you probably do. But if not, uncheck that and click Install WordPress. And then you'll see a screen like this, just saying your username and your password, which it doesn't show you the password so other people can't see it. And you just click Login. And here's where I put my username and my password I created. Paste that into there, and then we're going to log in. And there you go, there's a brand new freshly installed WordPress site. Some of the things you might think about checking and updating is the settings, general, writing, reading, discussions, media, and permalinks. Also users, your profile, you might want to update that, add some information, details about yourself. Other than that, just install some themes and maybe some plugins, and then start blogging. I want to see what the page actually looks like. The main page, front page, pretty simple because we haven't installed anything yet or added a theme, but that's what it looks like. Well, let's go back here and log out. There we go. That's all there is to it.